ṣe rí gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú ọdún méjìlá ní ṣe o àwa kọ́ la fà á o à ń try láti wo bá a ṣe lè lo ilẹ̀ yìí pẹ́ tẹ bá wò nísìnyí àìmọye ìrìn àjò tí mò ń lọ ẹ̀yin lẹ mọyì nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run ń ṣe nílùú nísìnyí gbogbo ìlú káàkiri náà fẹ́ ṣe business pẹ̀lú wa legally on the table wọ́n ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì nísìnyí tó mọ̀ pé wà accountable a mọ̀ pé wọ́n remove some.
Remi Tinubu speaking in an event where the Ooni of Ife unveiled a statue in her name. Among many things she told the gathering, she said that her husband is not responsible for the hardship ravaging Nigeria right now. She also told the youths that there is no food for a lazy man. Among many things she said, but the focus is on the narrative that Tinubu didn't cause the current hardship ravaging Nigeria. On one hand, Tinubu accepts that he caused the hardship, but there was no other option. That was why he increased the petrol price and floated the naira. That Nigerians should bear with him until things start to materialize. Even Remi Tinubu said something like that in her statement, that within 2 years, Nigerians will start seeing the fruits of all that Tinubu is doing. On another hand, they also try to deny and extricate Tinubu from all that is happening right now in Nigeria. So which is it? Just like yesterday, the Minister of Women Affairs claimed that Nigeria will be better than United States in 2 years' time.
May God bless you. May God keep you alive to finish all your tests. Because I know by the time you're done, Nigeria will be better than America. I am not boasting, I'm saying the fact. Let anybody post me in less than 2 years. Post me.
So the focus should be on this narrative that Tinubu didn't cause all the hardship. A reminder before people will start saying, he didn't truly cause it. The more they spread the narrative, maybe it will start to stick and become reality. The reality is that on the morning of 29th May 2023, before Tinubu arrived to take oath of office, you can see the price of petrol at the time. Compare that to the price of petrol per liter today. Also look at the exchange rate on that fateful morning that Nigerians now refer to as the good olden days. Compare that to how much Naira is exchanging today. So this is the reality. This administration caused all the hardship. Are there other ways they could have done it and still achieve the same objective of removing the petrol subsidy? Yes, plenty of ways to do it. For instance, how can someone wake up and just move petrol price from 185 naira to above 600 in just one day? You can't do this without hurting the economy so bad. Alternatively, they could have said, okay, we must remove petrol subsidy, which will ultimately increase the price of petrol. But instead of just doing it at a flash, increasing hundreds on top of the old price, let's just start with 50 naira in the first 3 months. Which will mean the first 3 months petrol will be sold at 250 naira per liter from the initial 185 naira it was selling before he took over. So in a year, they will have added 200 naira to the original price of petrol, which will push it to about 450 naira per liter. In another 2 years, they will add another 200, pushing it to about 650 naira per liter. The gradual process alone will allow the economy to recover and get ready for the transition to high energy cost. Yes, but they didn't do all this, and within the transition period, they would have used the time to at least implement the CNG. Yes, many people are afraid that it might explode and cause a lot of accidents, but that's not true. In countries like India, where many cars are CNG powered from the factory, no such thing happens in India. If it did, many people would have abandoned or stopped buying brand new cars that are CNG powered. Also, the problem we face in Nigeria is the lack of infrastructure to dispense the CNG. As big as the Lagos metropolis is, you don't have up to 10 CNG filling stations. So all this they would have done before removing the petrol subsidy. That's if they truly cared about the effects on the economy. But Tinubu was so much in a hurry. Why was he in a hurry to implement it? Maybe it's because of his interest. We all know how Owando, that wasn't worth up to 100 billion naira about a year ago, but today they are worth over 1 trillion naira. So who knows? They can't be obviously leading people to a pit And while everyone is seeing the pit, they are telling the people, no, that's not a pit. There's a bridge there. When we get there, we'll cross it. That's exactly what is happening. Because of their interest, they don't give a damn. They don't want to know all the sufferings. They are playing as if they don't see it. Now, to the issue of no food for a lazy man, it sounds straightforward. Anyone hearing this phrase will say, that's reality. But that doesn't tell the entire story in Nigeria. The naira has become so valueless that even if a worker puts in 60 hours per week, that's 10 hours per day, Monday to Saturday, the person will still be living from hand to mouth. Naira is so difficult to make, and at the same time, it is worthless. When you suffer and put in a lot of effort only at the end of the day to be paid 10,000 naira, and you take that 10,000 naira to the market for grocery shopping, it hits you in the face how valueless the 10,000 is. Where are you going to start? How much is a tuber of yam? Upwards of 5,000, or maybe you'll be lucky, you buy one for 4,000 naira. How much is remaining in the 10,000 you came to the market with? Is it a crate of egg? Depending on where you live in Nigeria, but it's not less than 5,000. In some places, it is being sold for 6,000 naira per crate. What about Gari? Gari is about 3,500 naira or 4,000, depending on where you live. Is it a bag of rice that is more than 100,000 naira today? So where do you even start with 10,000 naira, an amount an artisan can earn as a daily pay, depending on where he lives in Nigeria? So these are the issues. It's not about working hard or trying to get a job. It's about staying on the job and surviving on the pay. Another thing is, what have they done to improve the lives of Nigerians since they are claiming they are not responsible for the hardship? Have they tried to reduce the cost of governance? Absolutely not. He is running the largest cabinet in Nigeria's history. As if that was not enough, they just created a new ministry called Livestock Ministry. Wike conducted an inspection the other day. Are we going to talk about all the luxuries they've been buying? New motorcades, new jeeps. What about the new jet? More than 200 billion naira, including the cost of purchase and improving the interiors. So a lot of things they've done. What about the National Assembly? Their budget is outrageous, the biggest budget in Nigeria's history, coming at a time when Nigerians are facing the worst hardship. So they can't claim that they are not responsible. Nigerians know they are responsible. On the other hand, they haven't even done anything to show that, hey, yes, we are suffering, we need to reduce the expenditure, we need to divert majority of the funding to education, to investment, infrastructure that will at least help the economy grow a little bit. So when you look at how they are running the country, you see why there is massive job losses. People are even voluntarily resigning from their jobs because it doesn't make sense to continue when they spend almost all their salary on transportation alone, and they just increase the price of petrol. Are we going to talk about multinationals that have left as a result of the failed policies? So it's not about asking what any other person would have done differently. It's about looking at the effects of what they have done. Has it lifted Nigeria? Absolutely not. Look at the GDP figures in Africa, from number 1 in Africa to number 4th in Africa, under 1 year. So figures don't lie. There's still enough time for them to reverse all these so that Nigerians can heave a sigh of relief. So that Nigerians can wake up and say, it was a bad dream. So that Nigerians can say, the past year we now refer to as the good olden days. They are back again. We can now relive that time. It's a pity that they are insisting that they will never reverse the failed policies. So it's like an open challenge to Nigerians. We will impoverish you by force, but you can't do anything about it. Even the election is hanging in the balance. No one knows if votes will count, but we will be here to remind Nigerians that, hey, this failed narrative is not the reality. Thanks for watching.